honestly, this makes me want to quit bass fishing. That's how bad it is.
Well, as you can see, things, they kind of go a different direction this time around. But we have a great show with the only Australian ever to qualify, the only Australian ever to win. From Toowoomba, Australia, we have 3-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier, former Elite Series champion, Carl Jocumsen, joins me this week on...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks, and of course you, my humpers. Happy hump day to all of you, and welcome into the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. This is the 268th edition of the Mercer Podcast. Now, I hope wherever you're watching or listening from, that life is treating you well. Got a great show here this week, and I'll be totally honest, this was not the show we had planned. The plan was to have Jake on with Jake's Take, the behind the scenes, and it's a great show. You need to see it, and you will see it, but it's going to be next week because we will have Jake's story about Jake takes a seagull to the forehead and all the dirty, nasty, little juicy details of Jason Christie's victory. That is coming up next week. But this week, we kind of called an audible because somebody reached out to me, friend of the show, of course. Carl Jocumsen reached out and said, I got some stuff I got to get off my chest, and I want to do it on your show. And as you guys know, this show is, well, part podcast, part therapy session. So that's where we're pushing Jake's show to next week. And we threw Carl in here because he's got to get some stuff off his chest. And it'll be an interesting show. So I can keep talking and whatever. I'm actually not here. I'm actually Spirit Lake, Iowa. Yeah. Hanging with the folks from Berkeley, learning about some new stuff, working on some new stuff. So stay tuned. But we now interrupt that to jump into this podcast / therapy session. Without further ado, let's hook up with him in his bass compound in Tennessee. The angler formerly known as the Wallabeast, Carl Jocumsen. Carl, this is a little bit of a different deal. You're pissed.
Yeah.
Not like you.
No, but you got to. I got to start saying how I feel, and honestly, this makes me want to quit bass fishing. That's how bad it is.
It makes you want to quit bass fishing.
Yeah. That was a soundbite for you. You wanted something good. That was as good as I could hold it. No,
so you're not really pissed?
No, not really. I am in different ways, but in as about as mad as I can get. But we had a conversation, and I said, man, I'm trying to do some good stuff, and I can't get anyone to get any traction unless we use some sort of clickbait, and I don't want to do that. And you said, hold my drink. I've got something for you.
I mean, it could have been worse. I just said you were pissed. I mean, and you are kind of pissed, though, that and I feel you there because it is a weird world we live in where you have to be pissed to get it's not just bass fishing, it's everything. Like, why do people are increasingly attracted to the negative?
I know. And yeah, honestly, it is so frustrating for me. Like, I'm like, what have you, like, I don't want to have to do that. Like, why do I have to think about a catchy headline, think about some sort of clickbait? Why can't I just try and do something good and people and the algorithm let it go and let it get out to everyone and get the support. And I've just been the last couple of weeks or the last months or just even the last few years, like we've got the Fear My Heart incentive. We're cleaning up the lakes, and it's not some promo sponsor thing. This is from the heart. This is something that means a lot to us, that we want to just do good things continually. And it's just like you're just walking in sludge. That's how it feels. And then you catch them on a koiki, or you hit forward facing sonar, or a dock owner's mad at you, or something drama happens and it blows up. And I'm like, but that's not what I want to promote. I do want to promote fishing, but I'm like, I just want to promote the good stuff. And I see it a mile away. And that's why you should be, I guess, wary of news, because I'm like, there's no way news channels are going to say anything positive, because it's not going to do any good. Like, it's just not going to, it's not going to get them the views, and then their sponsors are going to drop off, and then they're going to actually go away. Like, if you started a news channel and you just spoke about positive things, you would actually go broke and go away. Like, that's how insane it is. And I'm just like feeling that right now. I'm like, man, I'm trying to educate, and I lost our light. I'm trying to do the right thing. Yeah. Chase left this. It's Chase's fault. He left this here, and now it's dead. I should have known.
You looked so good for a little while there.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get a red thing going. I'll see if it lasts. We'll see if it lasts any longer. I had to turn that one off. But yeah, I just you know, and so for me, that's how it's sort of been. Just even with the
you look fine.
I look good. I still look good.
Yeah.
Can you see me? That's just how I've felt, and how it's been just with the Fear My Heart incentive, and then the lake cleanups. Like, it's so hard for social media to give it any push at all and get it going. And it's just like, what do? I don't want to do the clickbait stuff. I don't want to do the corny stuff, but like, that's what sells. That's what gets the views. And like, you see it with the YouTubers, like, they have to do it. If they don't do it, their channel will go away. Like, who do you know that doesn't do it, that is crushing it? Like, how do you do it?
Dude, I mean, the right title to make this podcast is Carl Jocumsen's Making the World a Better Place, because you literally are. And I say that to you every time you promote on stage, but that isn't going to get any traffic. It's just the world we live in. But that's also not why you do things. I mean, it's frustrating. I get it. But that feeling that you guys get at the end of the cleanup, at each of your Fear My Heart incentive checks that you give away, that feeling is why you do those things.
Yeah, no, and I got to always like remind myself of that. And Sherry, Kayla's mum, is always onto me, because like, I always want more and better and bigger, and I have high expectations. But last year we wanted to get 100 lakes signed up for the cleanup, and we got 70. And Sherry's like, I was like, oh man, how do we not get to 100? Like, that should have been so easy. And Sherry's like, do you know what 70 lakes looks like? Like, who do you know that had 70 lakes and 9 different countries cleaned up? And then the same, like, we had last year, we had about 80 people come to our cleanup, and I want 150, 200 people there. And she's like, you got 80 people that are willing to just get out and clean the lake. Like, you got to look at those positives too. Even Gary V, he always puts up things of like what 2,000 people look like, in a crowd. So like, you're like, I only got 2,000 views on that YouTube. And then when you see what 2,000 people looks like, you're like, that's a lot of people. And so you got to take the wins as we go. But I'm passionate and fired up about it, and I want to see it overpower the negative side of things. But I spoke to Brandon this morning. I spoke to Clint from Yamaha. He's coming up, and he's like, "You got to ring like Milliken and just ask him if you can use some crazy headline." Just to
he'll let you.
He would let it, and he would love it. It would be funny because I thought about doing it and then having him come on and be like, "Guys, don't make Carl do this. Just go and help him clean up the lake."
Well, maybe he does fought Van Milliken at the cleanup.
Oh, that could be a good one. But then when we get there, we just shake hands and Ben helps us.
The fight is actually over who can pick up the most trash.
Yeah.
So how do we as humpers find viewers of this show? How do they help? How do we sign up? How do we get lakes? How do we make this year's cleanup even better than last year's?
So we have a link. I don't know. You might be able to put the link under this video.
Put it in.
That'd be awesome. It's super cool. Like the way we've got it set up, when you put all your details in, you register a lake that's near you. Because what happened was we've had it at Chickamauga, we've had it at Knoxville, a couple lakes around here. And then a lot of people were like, hey, we want to be involved, but we live elsewhere. So we created it, the worldwide cleanup and Mace through social media. And so what you can do, you sign up and it actually pops up on this map straight away. As soon as you hit enter, your lake comes up and your name, your details, you can create a little team. And it basically just keeps adding to that list. And then if you post a picture, tell us how much you cleaned up, it just adds to like how much we've cleaned up out of the lakes. And so basically, if you're in the Chickamauga area, you can come down to our spot at Soddy Daisy Park. It's happening this Saturday, so I don't know when you're going to post this, but it'll probably be
this Saturday.
Yep, it'll be this Saturday coming up, 27th, from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. And, I mean, we have thousands of dollars worth of prizes. Yeti has a bottle for everyone, custom designed for our cleanup. We have stuff from Hennessy, Rapala, everyone, all of my sponsors put in prizes. So a lot of people walk away with some really cool stuff. And then everyone that enters into the worldwide cleanup, you go into the draw for a bunch of prizes as well. So we're trying to get to 100, and last year we cleaned up 70 lakes over 9 different countries in Japan, Australia, South Africa. It was truly incredible, and just we have a barbecue, free barbecue that is getting put on by Mohawk. It's a carpet company down here that based out of Atlanta, and they collect all the plastic bottles that we get, and they actually take them to their recycling facility, and it gets turned into carpet. So it's kind of a cool deal, yeah. But like last year, out of the one creek here, we cleaned up 13,000 pounds out of one creek on Chickamauga out of the water. And so like, I'm a little bit like too, whatever the opposite of clickbaity is. Like I need to get a bit more harsher with this stuff because people just see it and they're like, cool. And I'm like, if I got these 2 bins and tipped it back into the water and showed that video, it would go viral. Like people would freak out over it. And I'm like, we just pulled that out of the water in 3 hours with 80 people. I'm like, it's insane. And honestly, like in the South here, and that's what makes me more angry than ever is seeing that. My daughter got a little son now. I didn't grow up around that in Australia. And I have 2 options. I'm like, move away from here and not be here and not live here and not make this my home base, which was honestly on our mind, or be a part of the change and actually try and make a difference. And that's what I decided to do. We love Tennessee. We love the South. We love the fishing here. So I'm like, we have to do something. And what's crazy is Kathleen from Keep Tennessee River Beautiful, she said, when we go and do that Soddy Creek where you guys clean up, she said, we have to go further out now to find any trash because just from 2 years of us doing it, it's working. I'm like, and so we've just learned so much. I've learned that the more people you do, the more trash you pick up, the more people see you picking it up, and the more people want to make a difference. It's a chain effect. I've seen comments of people like, it's a promotional stunt, this and that. You can be as cynical as you like, but we're the ones getting out there doing it. And we're posting it because it changes people's perspective. I'm going to keep, Clint told me today, and this has happened to I don't know how many people, but he said one post that I posted about me working out and going through a tough time and getting through it changed his life. He's like, you've posted a thing on your phone, and he was like, man, I need to turn my life around. And he ran his first marathon this year, and like, that's the difference you can make. Yeah, I can go and clean up the lake ourselves and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to post it. Same with fitness, same with the health stuff. But when you put it on social media, that's how you can make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. So I always have to remember that, because that people will make you feel like you're just doing it for attention, or you're just doing it for this. But they're not the ones that are out there actually doing it and doing something. And so when you do this, it's a chain reaction. And so a post I want to make, and the reason this whole thing started, was Kayla and I cleaned up that bridge on Gunnersville.
Yeah.
And when we walked down there, this is 2022, I think, and we walked down there, we started picking it up, and like, it just got overwhelming. Like, it was just like bag after bag after bag. And I'm like, this is insane. And so we changed sides bridge. We cleaned up one side, and then there was like 3 or 4 guys under there, and they're like, what are you doing? And we're like, oh, we're just cleaning up. And they're like, someone, like, who for? And I was like, just us, we're just seeing the trash there, and I like this place. And then they were like, you live on this lake? And I said, no, we live in Tennessee. And they were like, what? And then they were all looking at each other, and they're like, have you got another bag? And I was like, yeah, we got bags. So next minute, those 3 guys helped us, and we picked up more, faster, quicker. And it was that reaction. And I was like, man, that was cool seeing their reaction of us cleaning up. And so we posted that on social media, and it went viral, that one post. And it has like 7,000 likes, and it has thousands of comments. And in the comments, every single one, you should have let us know, we would have come down there. If you do it again, let me know. And this is how this whole thing started. And I was like, all right, like, you want to do it? We'll do it. So I got together with Kayla and Sherry, and we started talking about it. We should do like an organized cleanup. And we did one in Knoxville, and 30 people came to the first one, which is awesome. And I love everyone that showed up. But I'm like, we had 2,000 comments of people wanting to help. I'm like, we got to be able to get more than this. And so that's what has been frustrating. I'm like, everyone is wanting to get a part of it, but it's so hard to, 1, to either get the word out there, and 2, just to get people actually getting in and getting dirty and helping us out.
Today's high-tech fishing world can be a real pain in the neck, especially if you're running the wrong mounts. Beat Down Outdoors, they bring the graph to you, and they support this podcast and care enough about you to make this a short ad read. Check out Beat Down Outdoors. Now back to the show.
And if you can't be at your cleanup, I mean, there's, like you said, there's 70, 80 of them around the world. You want to get to 100. I mean, we had our little family cleanup last year. We're going to do that again. Yep. And I saw how it affects people, because we're walking around cleaning up stuff, and we were in an area where a bunch of people fish. And sadly, it's an area that a lot of people just drop their crap. And I noticed people said the same thing to us. Like, why are you cleaning that up? Like, almost like we were summons to do community service or something. And I said, well, it told them what it was, and it's the Fear of My Heart worldwide cleanup and whatever. And then I saw them, and around them, they started picking up the stuff that, they didn't go and clean up the whole area, but they cleaned up their area.
Yep.
And so no matter how big or small it is, whether you can make it to Chickamauga and be part of the major cleanup, or you can do one on your local lake with your family. It can grow to involve a bunch of your friends. They can all take part in this. So how do they sign up a lake?
Yep, you just hit the link below, hopefully on this video, and I'll send it to you. And then you can go on the Fear My Heart website. It has the sign up and everything there. You click on it, you put your details in, you sign up the lake, and then you go into the draw to win a bunch of prizes. Like Hobie Eyewear have been incredible. They're having their own cleanup in South Carolina. You can get on the Hobie Eyewear, and they are putting on an organised one that's Hobie and Fear My Heart together. A lot of little groups are they'll get 20 or 30 people together. If you're going to go fishing this weekend, sign that lake up that you're going to go fishing and pick up one bag. It might take you 30 minutes. It might take you an hour. That is the sort of stuff that will make the difference, and we just want to see it. You see it really big in the ocean side of things. There's a lot of places that are doing the oceans, but our lakes just seem to get neglected, and I feel like they're some of the worst for trash. And just finding the root cause of it all and changing some perspectives, changing kids' minds. That little bit of trash blowing out the window is not okay, or blowing out of your boat, turning around, picking it up, seeing a bit while you're fishing, pick it up. My live well will have trash in it after a practice week, fish on the elites. If there's something there, I'm going to pick it up. And it's just trying to do the right thing. And we're serious about this. This isn't just a little thing that we're doing. Got this, and even when you come to our cleanup, this has changed people's perspectives, and it's changed their lives, because we have these trash boats coming in from Keep Tennessee River Beautiful, and 15, 30 people go out. And I mean, you get soaked, you get muddy. Like, it's not just picking up a little bit of trash off the bank. I mean, we get in the water, we drag everything out, dock floats, tires. I mean, last year was just insane. 2 of those giant green long dumpsters, we filled them. And when they came in, people were like on a bit of a rush. They were a part of something cool. It was an adventure. They got out on the boat and they gave back to the lake. And we take from these lakes all the time, the fishing and the fish, and nonstop we're putting pressure on them. And Brig from Hennessy calls it paying the piper. It's time to pay the piper, give back to the lake. And this is just something I think that we can all do, and we can all get better at. And we all know someone or something or a stretch or a lake where you can go and do this. And we're just asking this one time to go and do it. And as much as I'm mad that it's not blowing up, we are getting so much support from so many cool people. And this year, it's probably going to be out by the time this podcast comes out, but Bill Dance, Signature Lakes, they just came out of nowhere and noticed what we were doing, and they have basically sponsored us, and we're going to have our own trailer with the Fear My Heart logo on it and their logo, and we've got all our cleanup gear in it. It's super cool. And
wow.
So we're trying to do this to where we have our own trailer and our own cleanup boat by next year. Fear My Heart is now a foundation. We just turned it into a foundation as well. So there's 2 separate sides, and we want to get that support so we can keep growing, and we can take the boat and the trailer to another lake and do it, or get it out there. And it's building. Yamaha Right Waters is behind us. We got Bass Nation and all of these cleanup places, that conservation places that are all separate. They all come to our cleanup. We bring everyone together that usually do things separately, and it's a real community-based thing. You're talking, people playing music, you're cleaning up. It's once you do it, you're like, I get it. And then when you see the trash, you're like, I can't believe that this is in the lake that you fish. And so, it's super excited. We've got all the prizes and everything lined up here. The trailer's getting wrapped as we are doing this. And then we're going to load it up with all our cleanup supplies. And we've just had some really, really cool support. And it's pretty cool.
It's easy to get frustrated, and you want, because you see the things that blow up Like your example was the best. And I think honestly, through the power of AI, you should do that. Like when you get those dumpsters full, take as many pictures as possible. AI can make it look like you're dumping it.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you let it sit for a bit, like let it
simmer.
Post it. Hey, this was seen at Chickamauga, and the people will be up in arms. This is ridiculous. What company is dumping this trash? Blah, 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 blah. And then when you tell the truth about it, but I also think you have to look at it where it's come from, Carl. Like it came from you and Kayla just deciding to do something good one day. And you've got Bill Dance calling you. You know what I mean? You've got you've got Yamaha's support. You've got all these companies and people that are part of it. And that is my challenge to the fine humpers that tune in here every week. I don't ask you guys. I don't sell you merch. I don't ask you to buy my hats, just because I'm too lazy to make merch, but I will at one point. But here's what I'm asking you. If you guys are on a local lake, anywhere near a local lake, bass clubs, this is an opportunity this Saturday to go and make an impact and to make this the biggest one ever. And you guys can do it. And I know everyone says, well, it's just me. But ours was just our family. And I'm going to tell you, our family walked away from it feeling that Saturday night, you sit down that Saturday night, you have a barbecue, you have whatever you're going to have for dinner, and you feel good about your day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally growing up with my kids. One of the things that routinely I would say to them is if they weren't happy about something, they weren't having a good day. So what did you do today to make today a good day? And a lot of times with anybody, the answer is, well, I went to work. There's no real answer, but by taking part in this, you give yourself a reason. So you're making the world a better place, but in turn, you're making your life better. And that is truly, I mean, that's where true happiness in life comes from, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. Everything that I'm learning over the last couple of years, my life has changed in the perspective of it's what I can give back. It's like I spent so much of my life being like more of like, how can I get my dream? How can I make this? And it was all about me for a long time. And I think that's fine at a certain point, but it never ends. It just keeps happening and you're never satisfied. It's just like the next thing after the next thing. And when you change your perspective of how can you help and how can you help others, just life gets so much more fun. Like that's all I can think about. And you're looking for those opportunities of where you can put yourself in to help someone. Like it's crazy when your mind shifts and now you'll start to see it and you'll be in line at Walmart and a lady will be in front of you and she's looking through a purse and you notice like she can't pay for her stuff right now, and that there's your opportunity to step in. And when your mind's not like that, you just you don't even notice that she's done that and had to like walk away from the groceries or needs help it's these little tiny things. And the more you do it, the more you start scanning around and looking. And for me, even this year, getting on the board of Bassmaster and doing these things, you can't complain and what I call whinge and not do anything about it. You can't be a whinger and then just keep whinging. I'm like, all right, I don't like this and I've been complaining about it. Well, I better step in and say something because otherwise nothing happens. And, that's what's happened with this cleanup. I'm like, look at all this trash. How can they trash this lake like this? And then get in my truck and drive away. I did that for years and I've done cleanups and helped pick up, but I'm like, I seen that bridge and I'm like, I've caught so many bass off this bridge. It's been incredible to me. And look at the bank. There's kids standing on fishing line and buckets and trash thrown over the side. And I'm like, if we don't make it, I'm going to clean up. And that one little decision literally has turned into hundreds of thousands of pounds of trash being pulled out of lakes all over the world. That's insane to me. And I got to always keep that perspective, but always like, be striving for more, I know it's a good thing and I want it to be, the best thing and the biggest thing.
Yeah, and the truth is, when people say, well, he's doing this for publicity, well, you are doing it for publicity, but that doesn't mean the publicity. You're using your pulpit, your area of, you know what I mean, bass fishing world. You're using that for something positive. And you do want publicity. You want publicity around the fact that we need to do this more.
Yeah.
It's a wild world we live in, but I'm telling you, what you're doing is awesome. And I encourage everybody to take part in it, however big and however small your setup will be. Just do this, because at the end of the day, I can be like, well, hey, the humpers helped out in this situation, and it makes me feel like not a fool for talking to my computer for hours every single week. So please do me a favor. Let's make the world a better place. Let's be part of the Fear My Heart worldwide cleanup. I'm putting it out there right now. We're going to have 100+ lakes.
Yeah.
How many do you have signed up right now? And we're recording this a few days before it'll go live.
We're recording this now. There's 1 week to go, and we have 37 lakes and 4 countries. So we've got some work to do. We got 1 week to get to 100.
Gosh.
No pressure. But if we don't, it's your fault. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, and if we don't, it's because you weren't pissed long enough. I asked you to be pissed for the first few minutes of the podcast.
It lasted.
Carl, you lasted 32 seconds, and you were kind of smiling during it. It wasn't a real piss.
I know. I do get mad, but it's just not for long enough.
Well, this is a great initiative, something everybody should take part in. So please make sure to do it. We'll put the link in the description and in the comments and all the stuff. So, and if for some reason they can't find that, fearmyheart.com.
Yep.
Is that your website? Like, what's the website?
Yep, fearmyheart.com. And we have a bunch of different ways you can support us. And what I wanted to tell is, like, we have spent every single cent that we have with Fear My Heart, every shirt, every hat, any bit of merchandise that was sold, we've spent all of that money the last 3 years on cleaning the lakes up. So that's how we've spent all our money. And now we have the foundation. So if you ever want to support us and get behind something cool, it's not going to be just lake cleanups. We're going to do tons of cool things with it. And so people have always asked us, can we donate? How can we help? But we didn't have the foundation side of things. It was just a merchandise style. So we have the foundation now, and you can support that, and you can find all of that through the website. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So when you're not cleaning up lakes, you're fishing on them.
Yep.
And how's this season going? What's your take on this season so far?
Oh, man. Like, it's been like just awesome and so frustrating at the same time. Like the Lake Murray and then this one, it's so funny. Like, I've been open about reading about God and talking about God and reading the Bible and stuff like that. And I've really dove right into it, and it's changed my life. Like, once I actually started realizing what it actually was and what it was teaching me, it changed my heart, and it changed the way I looked at things, and it just helped me not just put so much pressure on myself. And when I did that, things went really, like, just would go well for me. And not just that, but when something bad would happen, it would help me to just get through that and understand that, like, I gave it everything I got. It just wasn't meant to be this time. But I've lived so long of, like, wanting to win and being competitive and just wanting to be the best, all of these sort of self things that Murray taught me the most of, like, I feel like I've strengthened myself so much in every aspect of my life. And then I was just like, I was just having a great year. I'm sitting in the 20s in AOY, and, I only missed one cut, and just I have so much to be thankful for. I've got this incredible family. Everyone's healthy. Like, I love everything about my life. And then I come dead last in an elite tournament and it just hits me like a truck. And I lose all of that, not momentum, but I went straight back to my human feeling of just feeling like the worst you could ever feel. I hate that feeling. And I came out of it after it learning so much of like, I felt like God was like, look at you, you're reading about us and you're trusting in me, and one little hiccup and now you went straight back. And it showed me sort of like how early and how kind of weak I am in that sense, and how much stronger I've got to get in that faith aspect, because I hate that feeling. I've had it ever since I was a kid. When I would lose, it felt like the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I can't explain it. There's just this fog of like, no matter what I've done over my whole life, it's all a race because of that. And it takes me a long time to like dig out of it, but I'm good at digging out of it and then coming back. But like, I just want to get so much stronger in that aspect. And then Pasquotank just hurt too, because I'm like, man, I'm having such a good year. And I promised myself, like, I'm not going to have a bomb. I'm going to make this year the most consistent. And you just tend to like, I was literally throwing the same bait in the same rivers in the same areas. And I come, 89th or whatever. And it's so hard to like get your head around like why that would happen. But, looking at it now, it's been a week. I'm still in contention. I think I'm 50th in AOY. I'm only 6 out of the Classic. I've had some phenomenal events, and I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun. I have so much passion for the sport. I'm voicing my opinion in a good way on the board and with Bassmaster, and trying to help it grow. Doing so much, but I put a huge weight on me in that competitive sense. And I wish I wouldn't, because I've had so many of them bombs, and it always works out. But I have that constant feeling of like you're going to lose everything. It's a weird feeling. I've just had that for so long that I'm trying to work through not having that.
But don't you think that's healthy to have that to a certain? I mean, you're raising kids, and those kids are going to realize that whether you want to be competitive or not, everything in life is a competition. Whether it's a race in school, whether it's getting a date, whether it's getting a job, like everything in life, you're going to have to be competitive. So don't you think there's some healthiness in having, like, it's easy to just be like Gandhi and be like, well, what is mine is mine. It's like, you know what I mean? And but that's not also what drives you. Like, that's not. If you had have just been that, you never would have been in America.
Yeah, no.
You would have stayed in Australia and just been like,
whatever.
Why chase anything?
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's putting your whole identity on that. That's the problem, and that's what I have done my whole life, because I've had so much pressure from my whole life has been about proving people wrong from a kid, right up to probably less than 5 years ago. It's been like, this is who I am. And if I don't do good, then these people are right that didn't believe in me or whatever it is. And it's taking that pressure away and being like, this isn't who I am. I'm still going to try. I'm going to give it everything I've got. But me coming last in a tournament doesn't define who I am. It's not. Taking that pressure off is what I'm talking about. And I just have that so built in me that it's been one of the toughest things to like fight and throw, and it hurts me in tournaments because you can't do that mentally. You have to fish relaxed. You have to almost not care, because at the end, you get deep into fishing it's a rough old sport to try and be level playing field, competitiveness, the rules, like so many things happen in this sport that really frustrate me because I follow UFC and I follow that's my main sport, but I feel like in a high level sport, you have that controlled environment and everything should be as level, where in fishing right now, that is not happening, and guys find their way around rules. They run this line and I see it and I'm like, it's really frustrating to me, but the outside don't get to see it. And then I put the weight of the world on like me not doing good, but I'm trying to keep my integrity and my credibility. I'm trying to do things the right way. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No one is, but I at least try that, where a lot of anglers are looking for the way around that. And it really works in fishing. It's just like UFC, not drug testing. It's just like it's a bit all over the place. And I don't love that about the sport right now. So that's been my biggest frustration with it. I'm like, can we just get back to like trying to make it how it should be, you know, how a professional sport should be? And right now we're just in the middle of like everything changing and like coming together.
But don't you think that exists in every sport? I mean, take UFC, for example. I mean, dude, clearly you can poke a human in the eye and you can get away with it if you don't do it too much.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that when you see fighters, there's certain fighters that have and you know, it's always a mistake, but if you look at the mistake happens to them a lot more.
Yeah, that one fighter.
And they get away with it, and it gives you an advantage at the end of the day. And Tom Aspinall's a perfect example. Dude has had how many surgeries since his eye pokes from zero gone, and there's still people on social media saying, "Oh, you just knew you were going to get beat. That's why you." I mean, you're talking about the heavyweight champion of the world. He's not going to just roll over from a rough half a round.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there's something, but I feel like there's always going to be those people who push the edge, but that's also why people like Brandon get the rep that they do, because people look at Brandon and they're like, yeah, he does it right.
Yeah.
But I feel like in every sport you're going to have that. Like, do you think it's a way to can you get rid of that? People that push the limits? Like
you got to at least shut down the major ones, like the most obvious, easy ones to me. And then like the real fine line ones, like the harder you get on it, then the tougher it is to like run those fine lines. But right now, they're able to like read the rules and be like, I kind of can get around that one. And I'm like, well, if you can get around that and it's a huge advantage, then you need to figure out how to fix that. And there's a couple right now. And just even us going back to info, I'm just like, are you serious? Like, we're the best in the world. And now it's up to, you can call whoever you want and get all of their waypoints and then catch the fish off their waypoints. And then you're the hero. You're the best in the world. I'm like, that's the guy that did the work. I don't want to hear you talking about how hard you worked, or that if a guy gave you these spots to run, like we have 2.5 days, I'm not going to find all of those brush piles that you got given at that perfect time of year. They're going to be in there, or they're going to be in those areas. That's the bit that's been frustrating me the most. I'm like, the girls and Rangy. That's the bit that I'm just like, I want to get back to, like, at least when I put on the water, I'm like, we're all, you know, at the playing level field. A couple of years ago, and this rule still hasn't been changed. I don't know how they get around it, but a guy caught 25 pounds, a local, on this lake. He was winning everything, and no one knew him. Just knew this guy's just winning 25 pounds. Well, a group of anglers, or an angler, rang that guy and said, don't tell me about that lake, but just tell me about fishing in general. And then the guy basically gave him the baits and the lures and the areas of where to be. And then those anglers, Nelly basically won. And it got back to the tournament director. They looked in it, said, yeah, they had a 3-hour conversation with this angler the day before we start practice and nothing happened. I'm like, how? How is that? Like, if I do that, I'm doing the wrong thing. And so when you have those type of anglers doing that, I'm just like, this is so frustrating, because how do you get around that? And man, it's like those little anglers. Right now, we can't buy waypoints. And I'm like, people were buying waypoints? And they're like, yeah, there was people paying huge money for waypoints. So I'm like, that's absolutely insane. And so now you can't buy waypoints. So I'm like, all right, that's good. And then now, next year, there'll be a rule changed to say that anyone or family or anything can't buy waypoints and give them to you, because that they didn't get that in the rules. They didn't catch that. It was just, you can't buy it. And I'm like, I'm not looking at that rule saying like, well, it didn't say someone else can't do it.
So you think that's happening? You think
it's going to be in the rules? It's going to be in the rules next year. And just like buying the waypoints, I'm like, I thought there's no way. And then it's in the rules. I'm like, Bassmaster must know about it. Just for them to put it in there, it's obviously happening. I'm just like, this is just crazy. So it just loses that. To me, like, I just want to get back to like putting on the lake 2.5 days, who can figure the fish out and catch them in that time. And as close as we can get to that, the more just it's going to be of interest, I think, to the fans. And it's easy. It's frustrating for us because we listen to you guys, but we know what happens behind the scenes, and you guys might know that, but we're like that, like we're not getting that foot in the door. And it's probably my fault, dude. Like I should be talking to people about the Pasqua tank and stuff, but it's just not in my heart. The feeling that I love the most in fishing is when I get that bite and it all clicks and you figure something out yourself. That's what fills me with everything I love about bass fishing. That's the most golden moment. And who was the saltwater guy that died in a plane crash a couple of years ago, fly fishing?
Jose Wahibe.
He said a quote. I'm sure it was him, and it just hit with me so
amazing,
hard.
Man.
He was incredible. And I'd watched some of his stuff, and when he passed, I read a bunch about him. And he said a quote to someone. He said, to tell someone about an area or where to catch a fish is to steal from that person. So it was something along those lines. So like telling someone about where to catch them, you've stole the moment off that person, because the thing of fishing is that adventure. It's that feeling of what is around this next corner. What if I keep pushing up this creek? I wonder, and it's this adventure feeling. That's why I love the Pasqua tank. It's like, are they going to be in this creek? Like all day you're just moving and searching and looking. Meanwhile, guys are just side scanning the most ultimate brush piles, I mean, in the middle of nowhere that you have zero chance of finding, like that locals have worked 30 years to place and put and find and cast angles, and they know it before we put the boat on the water. That sucks. Like that's just crazy. You literally can't beat them, but like you can, because I don't like whinging about it, because Christie doesn't do that, and he can win. You know, even he mentioned that Mullins gave him that, and
it's the first time in his entire career that's ever happened. And he told me personally, he was like, I felt so weird about it all, like because he doesn't do that.
No, and it's different. I feel like that's way different, but still, that little bit of info is just like boom. Like that was massive for Christie. It's like a golden dock with giants on it. So imagine when you get that from a 30-year guy that's lived on one of those river systems, and you have his best stuff. Like you didn't do the work. He did. You did this last little percent. This is just my feel to it. I'm like, that shouldn't be what we're doing as the best in the world. But
So what percentage of anglers that compete in the Elite Series do you think agree with your way of thinking?
Probably a big, probably massive percentage, 85% probably, I bet.
So why did they vote to change the info rule back to 28 days when a year before they wanted to burn down the house when Bassmen should change it? Like,
it's crazy.
Changing it to a January cutoff. And that is near and dear to my heart because
you went hard on it.
Somehow I became the shop steward and I talked to 80 anglers that weekend, spent that weekend talking to 80 anglers on the only weekend that me and my wife were going to be alone in over a year.
Yeah, you did. So
they
good
screwed
job
with my personal life. Those sons of. And then a year later, the anglers voted to change it to 28 days. So how do we fix that problem? Because it literally halfway through the first event, I heard from people, "Hey, yeah, we got to fix this. Yeah. We got to fix this 28." And we hadn't even finished the first event that they voted to change it to 28 days.
So basically, the polygraph just scared everyone. That's all it was. Like it just put the fear. It literally put the fear of God in everyone, like including me. I honestly felt better about it. I'm like, dude, I just didn't want to talk to another human outside of the shop. Like, and that's, again, not how it should be, but it just got to where you felt like if you got put on a polygraph, you were going to fail. And like, that is the scariest thing that could ever happen to an angler. That's your entire credibility. That's everything that you've ever lived on. It basically gets vanished in that scenario. So it scared everyone basically to say, like, let's just go back to that and make it clean. And it did feel better because you'd be at a boat show and you'd run into a guy at the ramp and he'd start talking to you and then you'd be like, oh, I know, I'm okay. And you could settle down and have a relaxed conversation with the guy. But it's some balance between there. There has to be a balance. I don't know how to do it exactly, but you basically have to get the angler's trust in a polygraph that it's going to be, the questions are going to be said correctly and people feel good about going in there and being able to pass under the questions that we ask, and then be comfortable with having an off limits from the time the schedule comes out, or even maybe potentially the first of the year. But I'd like it just when the schedule comes out, but then still be comfortable with talking to someone about that lake, that without having that fear of like, if he says one word or he accidentally slips, you're going to fail. And so there's a balance in between there, but majority want off limits. We hit the lake and we go fishing, and it changes everything. It changes everything. And then you take forward facing out of it and it really changes everything. And it's a cool balance, but it's a weird feeling putting your boat on there knowing you're already so far behind and you kind of feel like an idiot. But there's nothing better than finding your own fish. That's the greatest feeling in the world.
That's why people fish. It's
like Arkansas River. I know Fred, lived with Fred. Fred lives there. He lives at Dardanelle. It kept crossing my mind, like I should just ask Fred, like, what's the Arkansas River like? Is it this pool, like anything? But the second I do that, it sort of sways me to a certain way. Like, do you know what I mean? Fred could have said, don't lock down because of this, anything. And instead I didn't. And it worried me because I'm like, everyone knows what pool. I'm like, just do it. And then next minute I find him in this obscure bank and like I catch him where no one else was. And I'm like, this is what it's about. Like every bite I got, I felt so good about it. And it gives you confidence. It's just it's a totally different, I wish it could be shown, like even for you guys, like potentially when someone wins, you should be able to ask, like, how did you find those fish? And then see how the angler responds, like, and even ask them, do you get info off other anglers, and some guys are open about it, but there's a lot that just they think that people are going to look at them different if they say, yeah, like I ring around everywhere and get info, or this guy showed me all of this stuff. If he says that, he thinks he's going to lose credibility. But I think that should be out there. Like, did you find him in the 2.5 days practice, or did someone like give you all that and that's how you caught him, and see how the anglers actually respond to it?
Yeah, I mean, some anglers are real open about it. I mean, Jordan Lee on stage this year. Was it the Arkansas River? I think he was
Tom
Bigby. Tom Bigby. Yeah. I rode with a college buddy of mine that has fished this area for years, and it was within our rules, and I went out with him, and that literally keyed me in into what I did here this week. I mean, I love that he owned it.
Yeah, that's how I would rather that. But like, listen to this. Good luck beating Jordan. Imagine Jordan Lee with like a college kid that's a hammer on that river system. Like, Jordan's a freak of nature, whether he gets that info or not. Then give that to him and then make him fish. Like, the dude's near impossible to beat. That's where it gets. What I figured out, like, when I first got to the elites, you're allowed info. And so I thought you just got to get it. And so me not knowing anyone, when I got info, it was from a guy that might come 30th in his club tournament. And guys were getting info off the guy that wins week in and week out. And when I realized that, I'm like, this is hurting me more than it is an advantage. And I just totally went away from it. And it's frustrating because I want to learn. I want to get better. I want to fish with other anglers. But what should happen is I should be fishing Florida now. I should be fishing Chick with some anglers, or Gunnersville, and building my knowledge base up and getting better at all of these techniques. Now the schedule comes out and I'm like, boom, I just put all of that work in and now it's on Gunnersville. But when it's on Gunnersville and now you search the internet for the best guy on there that you don't know and have no relationship with and try and get info from him, I'm like, that's where I have the problem. If you're lucky enough to know a kid almost like what Jordan has, I think that's cool. Like, I'm like, it's lucky that you know that guy. You've spent time with him. That's a part of having like a group and a group of anglers. You just got lucky that you know a guy that you've learnt off, and then the tournament ended up there. But searching out for the best guy and who has the best contacts is just, that's not what the top fishermen should be doing in the world.
So I assume you believe that rule is going to change next year?
Potentially, I think, yeah. I think it probably will. Yeah. We've got a really cool thing going. Everyone seems to be getting along pretty good as far as like the board goes, with Brandon running it. And I've got my anglers that are underneath me and they'll ask questions and make phone calls. And, when you really sit everyone down, there's the main divide is forward facing versus non. But everything else, most people are pretty much on the same track.
Do you feel that forward facing versus non divide has gotten better this past year with the 50-50? Or am I just living in a fool's paradise thinking that?
No, I think it's awesome. I think it was the perfect way. The very last thing we ever want to do, and I just keep trying to knock it on the head if it ever gets brought up, is do the 3 hours or the power hour like you spoke about, and you've turned your sort of thoughts around on that. But yeah, just having the full tournament non and then a full tournament with, it's been amazing. It's literally been the perfect scenario. I would just, we had more forward facing this year than we did last year. The Classic's been forward facing every year, so there's going to be a little battle for next year to try and get that reverse. So now it's 5 and 4, and then potentially the Classic with no forward facing. I think would be a good compromise for the amount that we've had it. But I have my thoughts on it all, but I'm better without it. So I'm a little bit biased because I feel like I'm better with when I just get to instinct fish.
Avco not only makes incredible outdoor clothing, but they care about anglers with their 10% pledge. Avco and the Shed family donate at least 10% of the company's profits to conservation and making fishing better. Now back to the show.
Yeah, and I mean, I 100% was wrong on the short period. I mean, the power hour idea, to me, the way it's worked out, and we're seeing guys, and I want to see people be forced to do certain things. You know, what you want to see, like whoever wins Angler of the Year this year, you're going to be like, well, they caught him in every single way. Like, there's no way you can be a forward-facing sonar guy and just do well enough in those and survive it. Like, you got to catch them.
Yep.
The people that qualify for the Classic had to catch him in everything. You got guys like Jason Christie, who, I mean, dude, he won one of the forward-facing sonar events and he won one of the non-forward-facing sonar events. So as if anybody had squat to say about Jason Christie before this, they got nothing to say about him now.
It's perfect.
And I also think that is just going to be a debate that burns on forever, because you said it best years ago. You were like, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. And I've heard that be repeated by other anglers, and you were the first one that said that, but you're right. Like, if somebody loves to fish with forward-facing sonar, they're not wrong. It's just what they would, and if they don't like it, they're not wrong. You know what I mean? No different than if you want to fly fish, you're not wrong. That's just how you choose to fish. You know, and I think it's dangerous, like, to say, okay, well, you ban it all. Well, that's dangerous too, because you're banning technology in the, like Brandon says, if the entire public is using it and we're not, why are they watching? You know what I mean? Like, outside of entertainment, a big reason people are watching. Like, why has everybody been so amazed with the koi key? Because they're trying to learn to try. Like, the first, like, as soon as they see you're using it, the first thing they want to do is how you're rigging it, how you're throwing it, how you're, like, look how that bait's evolved. That bait is literally right in front of our very eyes, evolved from a cat toy that you shook in front of a fish and forward faces sonar, to now it's something totally different. Now, you know, guys are fishing it like a jerk bait. Guys, so the learning element is a huge part of it. But
it's going to be an endless debate. What did you think about Mark Daniels' video?
I thought it was fine. I mean, to be honest, my total honest gut feeling, I was like, oh shit, here we go again. Like, that's honestly what I felt. No, I love Mark Daniels. I think he's great. And I think if that is how he feels, and I can see how you would feel like that as a pro angler, the right thing to do is to give your opinion, because everybody is allowed an opinion. And everybody's opinion, and especially Mark Daniels Jr., like somebody who's done what he's done in the sport, his opinion is valid. What I don't like is what spawns from it. What spawns from it is you've, in all of those videos, whether it's for or against, you have people that have an opinion and they state it like it's fact. You know, like pro fishing isn't what it used to be. We're not selling product. Go to a tackle store and tell me you're not selling product. Tell me tournaments don't sell product, because people are throwing. Jason Christie is now throwing a koi key and said he never would a month ago. Like, I had a buddy on the show real quickly from Gagnon Sports, one of my local tackle stores, a generational business. His parents had this store before him. He's watched everything come. He's watched the chatterbait come. He's watched the Alabama rig come. He's watched, before that, he watched the sluggo, everything that's come along. Everything. Sanko. And he said he's never sold more of one single bait in the store's existence. So you can't tell me that. So to say that tournaments aren't what they used to be and we're not selling product anymore, you can't say that to be a fact. But I also can understand how it's not the same feeling. It isn't the same. The catching a fish when you're looking at it is not the same feeling than catching a fish by surprise. And I think some of that is like when I watch Tucker Smith. I mean, I love Tucker, incredibly talented, but he got called out in that first meeting from that Lake Fork 8-pounder that he caught, that you wouldn't even have thought affected the tournament because he's not talking at all. Yeah. I watched him this year in a non-forward facing sonar event, and I made the comment after we left him. I'm like, he just talked more right there than he talked the entire Lake Fork event last year, because you're talking yourself through it because you're imagining. And I think there's some magic in that. So I don't think I felt one way or another about Mark's video. I think there's pros that feel that way. Selfishly, I was like, I felt like the world was kind of calming down and we weren't arguing about this as much anymore. And that bothered me because not what Mark said in the video, go in the comments. That's what bothers me. It's not, it's not the fact that he doesn't like it. It's not the fact that he thinks it's not the sport he grew up playing, and it isn't. It's totally changed. Nothing has changed. It literally, in my lifetime, nothing has changed the sport as much as forward-facing sonar has changed it. It's the war that is happening below it, like in the comments. That's what bothers me about videos like that. But I commend Mark Daniels for having the balls to talk up.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys have that. Like, that was actually, I thought that was overwhelmingly positive. Like, it was, more like people for him than anything. But I didn't go through and read all the comments, but I was surprised, like, seeing that. But yeah, I think, there's just a lot of guys that probably feel like that. I wonder whether, I feel like the Koiki blew up after Santee. And do you think it would have blown up the same if forward facing was involved there? Like, that's one. No. Yeah. Like, one thing I want as commentators and zoner and stuff to talk about more is how difficult and much different that was, and how much different it would have been if, the fact that those guys were catching them like they were without seeing them. I think that changed. It changed the whole way the bait sold. Like, now it got legitimized 1,000-fold. And that's a telling kind of sign too, which is interesting. And it changed my perspective too, because I was like everyone with the Koiki. I was like, kind of just I actually thought, I'm never throwing that thing ever, and then now I'm just like, it's the best bait in the world. And it was after that 1 week,
Yeah, no, I totally think that it changed people's perspective, because again, it was a cat toy before. Yeah. It was, and a percentage of the market doesn't relate with that. That's not the way they fish. I mean, if I'm being totally honest, the way I fish doesn't relate with that. Yeah. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm proficient with forward facing sonar, but it's not what my first go-to is. You know what I mean? Like, in certain situations, it's, I mean, I'm more of a traditional angler. So I think, it definitely exploded for people that were like, and we saw a bait that even guest after guest that came in to see us on livecast were like, hey, I fished the exact same dock that Chris is fishing. I fished the exact, but I didn't throw it with that. Yeah. And that to me is one of the reasons that it stands. But again, so if you don't like forward facing sonar, guess what? We get half the events without it. Yeah. Yeah. And if you do like it, you get half the events with it. And to me, that seems to be perfect. And if you're not happy with, how you can look at this season and not be happy, I don't get. Yeah. I don't understand. This season has been one of the most compelling, AOY races where it's up and down.
That's what's really cool. Because, dude, even my couple of bad ones, I'm still good because everyone's jumping around. I'm like, normally you whack that second bad one in there. Now you've got a real struggle on your hands. But even with that, so many people are up and down. I'm like, dude, when it's full forward facing, it's so just surgical. That's what I that's the one thing I don't like about it. It's just there's no slipping up. It's full on. It's a science of surgery of weights, and it's just gonna stack, and like it was so difficult for someone to falter. When now you see someone catches a big bag, they don't know that there's not another 5 under there, where with all basin they're like, no, there's 10 under there more, I'm going to keep catching them. If they're not, I'm going to move real quick. Like, it's just way more like, once you fall behind in a forward facing tournament, there's not much coming back, where now you can like have a tough day, and if you have a big second day, you're going to like shoot way up there. But it's a weird deal right now. Everyone is so good. It's so, like, as much as I am loving fishing, it's so like
it's hard,
dude. Like, I caught 21 pounds at Santee, and I'm like, I'm gonna back off them a little bit, because I could have kept catching them. So I'm like, I'm gonna run these couple other spots, and I came in and I was like 28. I'm like, and like Brandon, everyone had 29. I'm like, no, like I left too early. And then the next day I had 26 something. It was just a phenomenal day, but I lost all these giants, and I come in and Kayla's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I fell back further. Like, I'm trying to like be happy. And I was excited, but I'm like, had this feeling of like, just, you can't keep up. It's a wild thing to get your head around. But in forward facing events, it's tenfold. Like, you can't slip up. There's no such thing as slipping up. Like, and even when a slip up in a forward facing event is 18 pounds, not 20, 25. It's not a only caught 3 and really fell back. It's still a phenomenal bag, but just like not ridiculous. So I like the feeling of the non-forward facing ones, because you really don't know what's going to happen, where I feel like when you see the standings after day 1 in forward facing, you're like, that's the battle right there. You can see it. Okay, that's going to be the battle of the deal, where you just don't know what's going to happen when it's out of it.
What I also like about this season is we're going to leave this season with some real info.
Yeah.
Again, I hate when people take an opinion and treat it like it's a fact. Like, he's nothing without it, or you know what I mean? Like, you just, all the different things. To me, at the end of the year, we're going to, and I think the most important fact isn't from the anglers, it's from the viewers. We're going to find out, like, does nobody really want to watch forward facing soda? And if the answer is clear in that point, that yes, nobody wants to watch it, we're idiots to continue it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I fell in love with the sport before it. So I know I already love it. And if we're being totally honest, so did all of the kids that, they fell in love with the sport before there was forward facing sonar, because they fell, they didn't just, this box just didn't appear and they said, oh, that's what I'm going to do that now. No, they fell in love with fishing. And then as they fished, that became a thing. Yep. And for some of them, it's a longer period of their life, but it's not the box that's making them fall in love with it. I mean, they fell in love with the sport of fishing. So I think that's how real leadership and division, like decisions should be made, not just simply on what people want to see. You know what I mean? Like, sure. And because there's a real weird crowd that now we're hearing from all of a sudden. Once they went 50-50, now we're hearing from the young people that are like, well, why are you like, I know people that didn't like Mark's video and, said to me, I can't believe he's saying this. He was sponsored by Garmin a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That's where, but again, what I love about it is we're going to have real actual data where we can say at the end of the year, not one event, because one event could be like a big storm across America and everyone's indoors. So guess what? The ratings are through the roof.
Yeah.
But if years worth, if you can be like, hey, the ratings were this in the forward facing sonar events and the ratings were this in the non-forward, or vice versa, I think that's how you make the decisions moving forward, to me, because the fans are, people stop watching.
Yeah. You have to, like, if a rule came in or something came and it changed the game and then they looked and viewership dropped, they're going to it's the fastest thing they're going to take out of there. And so that is everything. It's for UFC. It's all of it. It's all about what the fans want to see. And our sport's different. I think our sport's different to all of them because the fans buy what we're using, where NFL or UFC, like they can buy some like merchandise, but they're not buying gloves and going and like trying to be a UFC fight. So like, I feel like we're in like such a different realm, and where like the people are watching, and when you see, you got to take into consideration the sales side of things. I really want to talk to the younger anglers and even and talk to the sponsors and bring them together and show them that this you winning another trophy and you doing well year one after the other isn't going to create this lifelong career that you really think that you actually want, but you think just winning another tournament is going to create. And being able to talk to them and tell them about the relationships and tell them about promoting and talking to their sponsors and talking to the fans and being charismatic and teaching people, there's just so much more to it. And I see the young guys, even for me, realizing about giving back. I want to win bad. I want to do all of that. But I realize that like the bigger picture is how can I represent the sport? How can I be a good representation of this? And when you win the classic or you win an elite, you have now a responsibility. And I think these young guys are thinking that their next thing is to win another tournament, which is great. And if you win, that's incredible. But like, what are you doing now to like give back to the sport, give back to the fans, give back to the lake? What are you doing to build this lifelong career? Because when you see the people that have done it, this is what's so cool about doing this. I could do this until I'm 70, like Rick Clunn. This is such a cool sport where that is kind of going away. And I don't want it to like that. If everyone's really good at that one thing and they're all really good at that and they're not showing their personality and then now a bunch of them are winning, it's gonna come to this ahead where it's like, if they have one bad year, it's gonna really hurt them, because a lot of the guys that have come up, gone through the trenches, have built those brick walls of having those ultra bad finishes, where a lot of these young guys just have come in and dominated. And I'm like, I want to teach them. And I love that they're doing that. And I love that the young guys are coming into sport, but like making sure that they have some foundation set, that they're not going to be gone in 2 years, or they're not going to be washed away and they were just one of the best. Like, they've built that thing, but now how are they going to keep it and keep building on that to get better and better over the years? You can't just keep catching them and keep winning. It's not going to happen. And even if it does, it's just everyone's winning right now. That seems like it's lost its thing because of how it seems like it's kind of easy. Like the boy, what are the boys that are all staying together? Like, they've all won a trophy, like the whole household,
Surge squad.
And like, it's just like one of them have got to get one, and they're 2 years in. Like, that's amazing and it's incredible. But now what are you going to do with that? And how are you going to like sustain that over the next 5, 10 years is going to go like that. How are you going to keep doing that and sustain it? You can already see you start to have that tough season and things fall apart for these young guys. And it's like, if you don't have the guts and that grit and that feeling of, you know, not doing well, but being able to stand back up and get going and have the relationships built with the sponsors. I thought I was going to get kicked out last year. I hopped in my truck and I'm driving back from Mississippi. I'm like, my Bassmasters career is over. And it was super upsetting. And my sponsors were the first people to message me, and they said, hey, it doesn't matter where you go or what happens, we are going to support you. And my heart from that and what I learned from that, I was like, far out. That's just the coolest thing ever. And when I told that to Brandon, he's like, that's not luck, dude. That's coming from years and years and years of putting in the work that to build these relationships. You have to know the owner. You have to be speaking to the head manager all the time. And building those up and actually selling. Like, I watch intently some of these young guys. They're so good, and they don't know how to teach yet. So they're sponsored by this big company. And I'm like, he won and I didn't even see what he was using. And I'm like,
they hide baits and dude, but I've said to you a lot through your whole career, and I've singled you out in Bassmaster meetings and said the thing about Carl that stands out to me is you make an impact every single time you're on camera, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, you make an impact, whether it's something bad luck that happened to you and you're open about it and you just pour your heart out there, or it's the winning moments. And that Surge Squad, it's funny you brought them up because I'm forever yelling at those guys, and you can ask any four of them that I'm always yelling at them, because I'm like, you got to give, like, and I'll give you a prime example. And people say it's forward facing sonar. It's not. No, it's not. Because I'll give you an example. Did you watch Hunter Shryock this week?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That was some of the most incredible moments in Bassmaster history.
Yep.
Everybody on set had goosebumps. Everybody's like, that's why we love this sport. Well, he did that with forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, but he did that. But without that, he did that from going through the trenches. If you don't go through the trenches, you don't have that emotion and that passion. If it just comes and gets laid out and you get it, you can't fake that. That's why it affected everyone, is because you're watching him and he can't help but pour it out. And now he's got thousands of people crying with him, looking through a screen. And it's like, that is built through the knockdowns, through the brick walls, and getting all the setbacks. It has nothing to do with anything except for that. That's what you're feeling. And fortunately, that can't be given. That can't be that can only be earned. And when you see it come early, it's a good thing. If you have, like, I think Fisher's going to be okay because he has had crazy success for a young kid, but his dad is solid as a rock. His dad is a working guy. You can tell he is on him. If Fisher gets out of the bounds of not being grateful and maybe potentially getting overconfident, and he'll probably pull him up. And you can tell Fisher's kind of got his head screwed on. He realizes how lucky he is, and he's grateful and he's humble in his winnings. That's a big deal too, and that will carry him a long way. When you don't have that and then things get tough, it's going to get real tough. That's what I look at from my perspective, and I could be wrong, but everyone has a different story. I like seeing, like, Hunter's story. That's what draws us to bass fishing. You just, like, everything in your heart wanted him to win because of what he's done and put into the sport, where you see many guys that won in their first year are just not even here anymore. Like, there's tons of guys that have won blue trophies and we'll never hear their name ever again. Like, it's done. Like, it's not, the work doesn't stop because you won a blue trophy. Like, it's next day. What are you going to do with that? And I love Easton. And Easton went through something so crazy because of his surgery and everything with his head. That helped him have humility and realize how fickle life is and how lucky he is to be competing. And you can tell that in the way he talks and that was so cool. At the same time, I want to tell Easton, like, let's get going. You're the classic champ, dude. What are we going to do with it? And I want to fire him up. You know, it's not a knock on him, but I'm like, dude, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you have a good attitude. People like you. You're young. You have everything. Now it's taken his mind off, like, I got to win another one to get that feeling back. You don't have to do that. You can try as hard as you can and you can want it, but, like, It's building what Iconelli, Skeet Reese, Kevin Van Dam, G-Man gets so upset about not catching him because he's a competitor and he wants to win. But I'm like, dude, you've already done it. Like, we don't care. You're a legend. You've done all the things. Now you just can give back to the sport, which what he's done, and teach these kids. But he did, those types of guys, Brandon, they don't need to win anymore, even though they want to with all of their heart. They are building something on bricks and foundations and concrete that's going to last forever, where, like, if you don't do that, it just 2 years goes like the blink of an eye and you can be gone if you don't catch them. And that's why, like, looking after your sponsors and promoting and helping them, I put a lot of effort into that, because if I have a tough year, it's still there to hold me up, to give me another go the next year and the next year. And then you never know. When you put all that together and then you win, then you're unstoppable.
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is I think Gerald still has to win and Brandon still has to win, because that's why we cheer for them. You know what I mean? That if Gerald Swindle shows up, and I think he'd be the first one to admit that, no, he doesn't have to win. Like, he's a 2-time Angler of the Year. That is a phenomenally difficult thing to do. He's won an Open, he's won an FLW Tour. He's not won an Elite, but I mean, anybody would trade careers with Gerald Swindle in a heartbeat. There is a very short list of people that would be like, no, I'll keep what I have and not do what Gerald Swindle. But it's also, that's what drives you. The fact that the dude got a double knee replacement and is hobbling around, can hardly walk the first few events, but he's there. Yeah. And that's, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's
what I'm saying is, they don't have to win to keep their career and keep earning money and keep actually growing. Like, they don't need to win to grow, where, like, if you keep that emphasis, you have to win and keep winning to keep stepping up. Like, dude, these kids have won so much. I'm like, dude, if I had half of your success, like, whatever I could, it would be, I couldn't even imagine it. And like, I want to win just as much as they do. But what I'm saying is, like, if Swindle wins, when he wins, because I believe in him, it's going to be the most craziest thing ever. But what I'm saying is, they have built foundations where they don't need, have to win to keep their solid career and keep growing. And I think the quicker we put that out there, I'm not saying any of this as a knock on anything. I'm saying it because I actually have passion. I want to help. I want to see people flourish. And I feel it, dude. If I back off, it goes away. I have to stay at 100 on everything all the time. I'm trying to learn the koiki, the techniques, and dude, I like that I get upset when I don't do good. That's my fire. That's what's got me to here. But also, I don't want to let that define me of who I am, because I see it in everyone else's eyes too. I'm like, dude, no one's going to remember. Like, I talk to people like I should talk to myself when they're like down. I'm like the hype guy. I'm like, dude, who cares? No one's going to remember your 85th. Like, just catch them at the next one. And then I don't do that to myself. I'm like so mad that like I did that, so I got to get better at firing myself up in those instances. But I am. I've gotten way better over my career. I had, even early in my career, I had one of my mentors get on me when I was like 17 and in Australia, because I came like 7th, and I had my head down and I walked up and took my check and placing, and I walked back with my head down, and he gave it to me. A couple of days later, he rang me and had me super upset. And I was like, that's how I've always like felt. I didn't win. He was like, you cannot do that. And I learned my best lesson then when I was 17, and I learned my best lesson at Lake Murray this year, because I'd strengthened my faith. I have done all of these things to work on that, and now I come in, and that's my opportunity to be in the bag line with 2 fish among kids that have caught 25 pounds and 26 pounds and be truly happy for those kids and speak to them and be like, good job, dude, freaking catch them tomorrow, pumped for you. And I didn't do that. I felt like, oh, everyone's catching them around me and why is this happening to me and why didn't I catch them? And it was all focused back on me. And the next day, like I snapped out of it and I seen Sam and he was so fired up and I went and shook his hand. I'm like, dude, freaking win tomorrow. You can win. And I was hyping him up and I'm like, that's the person I want to be. So I got to like constantly like work on that. And so it was such a good lesson for me to be like, you get put in those situations. Now you got to be the person. You can't get put in the situation, want to be that person and then not do it. So there's something special about when you see someone that hasn't caught them and things are down and they're looking at you saying, good job, man. That's who Brandon is. He's so good at it. Even though it stings him and you know it hurts, he's like, at Pasquotank, I was playing with Ranger. I was on the ground and I'm like in 89th and he come in, he's like, good job, dude. And I'm like, what for? And he's like, you freaking caught 10 pounds, moved up 10 spots. That'll make a big difference. I'm like, dude, that's who you got to be. You got to be that person.
Yeah, no, Brandon's a special dude. He's been a special dude since the first day I met him. The way he looks at things, like he is
it's the hardest
the
thing
world
to
would
do.
be a happier place if there was a lot more Brandons. But I also think that you can't expect not to be a competitor.
Yeah.
Because that's who you are. That's what fuels you. Like, I mean, dude, I don't compete against you guys, but I get pissed when I screw something up. You know what I mean? Like at the Sunday morning takeoff, I called Cody Huff, Cody Meyer, like, wow. And there's like a bunch of people in front of me and I didn't write it off and be like, well, there was people in front of you. You couldn't see. I mean, it just came out and I was pissed almost all day because of that, because that's just announcing someone. That's not a competition, but that's,
your
I
job.
think it's normal. Like you shouldn't to steal a line from Swindle. An ass whooping shouldn't taste like ice cream. It should piss you off. And, but I think where you're getting at is there should be a healthy balance. And I think Brandon is a master at that. I've watched him go back and watch him get beat by Will Davis. He, in essence, won that tournament, but because of a fish care penalty that happened in the last 30 minutes, and he was right there to congratulate him. And it wasn't just on stage. It was, he was real and he's got great perspective in life.
What you see and what you got to get away from, again, just to add to that, is you come in and you don't catch them and you're pissed off and you showing it and you're not happy for the next guy in front of you or whoever it is, or guys come back to their house with their team and their vision, they're ultra mad and the other crew caught them, but they didn't. And then so they act like that. Then the next day they catch them and now it's all happy. Now you're happy and you're talking to everyone. Well, it's like, I thought you were just super mad, or the same with the tournament. You don't catch them and you're just like ultra mad and you don't talk to anyone and you're not happy for anyone. Well, the next tournament you catch them and you have a phenomenal tournament and now you're looking for look, I caught him, and everyone's like,
how'd you do, buddy?
Yeah,
you get him? You get him?
Yeah.
But you don't catch him, you're just head down.
You're like, I thought last week you didn't want to talk to me or anyone, So I see that and I'm like, you can't be that guy either. So like just everything that I'm learning with my faith is like, you can want it all you want and you can still have that passion. You can still try, but there's only a certain amount that you can do that's in your control. And you have to like let that go, not look behind you, only look what's in front. And it just helps you like get out. Like there's nothing you can do. You come 89th. Like you crying about it is not going to make you come 50th or get a check. Like that's where you came. And so, man, it's just a life lessons, eh?
I've run a Yamaha outboard for over 30 years. It has got me home safe each and every time. If you enjoy this podcast, remember, Yamaha supports it and they care enough about you to make this ad read very short. Now back to the show.
I think that's also kind of the grossness of the world today. Like there's many great things in the world, but one of the things is, and a quote that screams in the back of my head that I heard is, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And it's real easy. Like, just go on social media and you start scrolling through and you're like, well, this guy's doing this and this guy's gone on this vacation. This guy's, but you don't know the truth.
It's not real. Most of it.
You know, that guy caught him again.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's also got a tragedy happening in his family that nobody knows about. Like, and if you start comparing yourself to, that's like, while we're having this conversation, what I keeps going through my head is, dude, if I could go back to Carl Jocumsen when you were fishing the Australian Fishing Championship, is that what, AFT?
AFC.
Is that AFC? Yeah. If you were fishing that, and if I had just appeared and just been like, hey, Carl, I'm Dave from the future. You're going to qualify for 3 classics in a row. You're going to win an Elite Series event. You're going to have some of the most inspirational moments in Bassmaster history. You're going to start a charity that collects thousands of pounds of trash and makes the world a better place. You're going to have 2 beautiful children, a smoking hot wife. You're going to have a bitchin' pad to live in.
Say that again.
That one mainly.
What am I? Go back again? What am I going to?
The smoking hot wife.
Okay. No way.
But if you, it's so easy to look at other comparisons. The thief of joy. You know what I mean? Like, stuff is crazy. And that's the gross thing with the world. Like, your thoughts of, you thought maybe you unqualified, and I know what went through your head. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to. You think of the dude in Australia that's gonna be like, I told you couldn't make it, mate. Screw that guy. You qualified for 3 classics. You made the Elite Series not once but freaking twice. And nobody in Australia, nobody in the entire country you're from has ever done that.
No, it's crazy.
It's
the biggest thing that we all suffer with. I think everyone suffers with that same thing, no matter where you are in life. It's just a constant, like, to wherever you are in that position, there's someone ahead of you. It's just like being at the gym. You're just like, this guy's looking at him saying, I wish I could strengthen him. And someone's looking at you saying, I wish I was to where he was. And the one guy's like, I wish I could walk. And he's in there and, doing his thing. It's what I love about UFC, because I feel like it brings all of that. Like, it's just so, everything about it is like life to me. And we always text each other, and on the weekend they fought at the White House, and it's like, this is crazy. If you ever thought fighting was going to be there, but in the littler sense, Justin Gaethje just a year ago was the receiver of one of the worst, craziest viral knockouts you've ever seen. In the last second of a 5-round war, he got hit and fell face first into the canvas and laid there. And it's been played millions of times all over the world on every station you can imagine. Everyone's probably seen that knockout. 1 year later, he's doing a backflip off the UFC cage with the White House in the background as the welterweight champion of the world, or what is he? What was it? Was it the lightweight? Is he lightweight?
I think, yeah.
1 year later. So it's like, that's what when you look at that, you're like, dude, he was face first in the canvas, knocked out, and everyone probably counted him out. And 1 year later, the most incredible things happening. So that's why you gotta keep that faith, no matter like how. You got to keep the faith through those knockouts. That's where it's key. Everything you listen to, it's the person that can handle the downs that ends up succeeding. It's easy to feel good when everything's going right, but those people that can just keep getting up, and I'm becoming one of them. I know I can still get better, but working on that and just being like, having that faith constant. I had that before I ever read into God or the Bible or anything. I always had that faith in myself, but it was always waning. It would always just go away, and then it would come back, and then it would get shut down. It's like listening to motivational music or a speech. You fire it up and then boom, and then fire it up, where I feel like I'm on a more progressive, steady incline, and it's a cool feeling.
And the reason that Gaethje moment is so big is because we saw all the bad moments get into it.
Yeah.
Like there's never been a more exciting UFC fighter for a longer period of time than Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
But we've seen him lose. We've seen him get this close and then get cut short. You know, me and you before the fight, we talked about it. We both said he's got a shot, but probably most likely not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What he's facing. But so that's the. I mean that's the thing. And dude, those young guys that you see winning. Don't think they don't look at videos and see what Hunter did and be like, why don't how come I can't do that? And there's some of them that I talk to and they're like, I'm trying. Like, it's so hard to put yourself out there. It's so hard because the world they live in, I mean, Easton's a prime example. Dude went through brain surgery a year before, won the Bassmaster Classic. And if you read the comments that week, you would have thought he was the Antichrist. I mean, literally. And he's got every reason for you to want to cheer for him. But so they're growing up in a different time. It's a weird thing.
I do want to talk on that because we talk a lot about the comments in there. Dude, that's been around forever. That is not a new thing. That is not a new thing to the forward face and sonar guys. That has been around since the internet started. And I can tell you, we were a part of it and we didn't have people like you or anyone that even understood it to say anything. You took those comments as pure truth. Like when it first started in 2011 and we got Facebook, in 2014 when Kayla come, people say the meanest stuff on, and I'm just like, dude, we shouldn't even be bringing this up. Newsflash, like the internet's mean. Like it's gonna like you're a young kid, you're winning, you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, you've got a jacked up truck and a boat, a bass boat, $100,000 bass boat, and you're driving around the country competing against the best in the world. Like life's pretty awesome. A few mean comments shouldn't even be in your thought range. Like that comes at everyone, no matter what aspect of life you're in, dude. People are just going to be mean on the internet. So like, that's not a new thing. It's not a thing because of forward face, and it's been around forever. I can go back and just bring videos up and it's me and Kayla like sleeping in the back of our truck and there's just comments saying, must be nice having a truck. People were like, look, he bought firewood. That's how you know he's got family money. I'm like,
because you bought firewood.
Yeah, they've seen the firewood. I have it screenshotted because I go back and I look and Kayla's like, remember we got roasted for we were eating like granola in the back of the truck coming back from the elites. I missed a check in the two first ones and I mean, we're broke. Kayla doesn't know it. And I'm like, how are we even going to get back? Like, we're so broke and we're eating granola in the back and people are like, we're posting about our life, thinking it's good. And it's just instantly, when Kayla came on the road, all negative. Everyone hated Kayla. They were just like, she's going to ruin your fishing career. Good luck winning now. We had to read all of that. and we didn't have anyone to tell us like, dude, these people are struggling in life and you don't listen to that. We took it as the gospel. Like, I was like, damn, Kayla, like this is going to happen or we must have money, whatever it was. I'm like, this is crazy. And so like we bring that up now. I'm like, dude, if that's the little bit of adversity you have from some mean comments, my mum, she gets on it bad. And because I've put my faith out there and started to say that I'm learning about God and stuff, Aussies hate it. They get on me hard because we're extremely cynical. I was just like that. And it's changing me. And so when I put it out there, they can't stand it. And I understand because I was right there with you. I know it. But these people write this real mean stuff. And I'm like, and my mum just can't stand it because she reads it. And I'm like, Mum, and in the past, I would get my back up and I still feel it a touch to write something back to that person. And I'm like, I know now that Bible says exactly what's going to happen and exactly what that person's going through. And I'm like, Mum, that person's hurting. You can't say nothing to them. They're struggling. And Mum, there's been these several guys and Mum's eventually had enough because they've written, and she's wrote to them. And I'm like, they're going to write to you. They're going to say that they're struggling. And mum's like, no, they're just being mean. And then mum talks to mum. I talk to mum, man, that guy messaged me and he's been going through this stuff. And I'm like, I told you. Like, it's people that are...
They're not really pissed at you and your firewood.
People that are healthy don't write that on social media. People that are unhappy with their life write that. And you need to give back, like, you need to give back kindness to them. And it's like they don't like it, but they do. It's what they need. When you give it back differently, they want you to get your back up, want you to say they're wrong and call them this. They love it. It fuels. It's like throwing coals on a fire. You throw the other opposite back to them and it just nullifies everything. I've just learned it over and over again. So, like, even giving the time of day to these kids looking at that, yeah, you can listen to some comments and take some criticism that could be, you could look at it and say, yeah, maybe I need to change, or maybe this is right or wrong. But in general, if that's your biggest adversity, then life's pretty good in America.
Yeah, but just because it's been happening for a long time, and I would argue that it's gotten worse. I mean, more people are more vocal on social media than they.
Yeah,
there's. I mean, I would say people are just angry. The world is an angry place, and I agree with you that. But here's what I also say, and it's similar to what your thought is on tournaments. We can't stop those people, but what you can do is we can fix it by making things better in the way that, like, when something cool happens, you don't have to get into a war with the guy who hates it. You just need to say have your piece said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, great win. It was, and I don't think it should be forced and premeditated. It's just like, we can all make the world a better place by putting a little effort in.
Yeah.
And whether it's on social media or whether, watch, I'm about to prove I'm a professional, or whether it's signing up for the Fear My Heart worldwide trash cleanup this Saturday. We can all make the world a better place by doing our part, whether it's making a comment on social media, a positive one, or picking up a piece of trash. I told you I'm a professional, Carl.
I love it, mate.
Yeah. I'll tell you what pissed me off about that UFC, watching that Bruce Buffer.
Yeah.
What the hell? I got way more people.
You're way better.
I mean,
him
cards.
You should
I
be
wouldn't
there.
say I'm better than him.
You should be there.
I mean, bullshit, really.
I think you should be there. No. Yeah, that's unfortunately what it's like. What you said about Hunter before, people wanting that emotion. You don't want to go through what he went through to get that emotion. That's what people don't realize. It's like they want everyone wants the prize, but no one wants to, like, do what it takes to get there. They're like, I just want that now. And it's like, no, that's 20 years of, like, trying and not getting not getting what you're going after. Like, everything in your heart wants that guy to win. And there's a lot of anglers that are like that. And that's earned.
Hard to believe you texted me and said, you sent me a joking text this morning that said, let's do 5 minutes. And then we joked about how it had to be negative and then I came up with the title about you being pissed. But turns out you are a little pissed about some stuff, Carl.
I'm passionate.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but if I put he's passionate about, that doesn't get the traffic.
There'll be 10 people
Carl's
watch it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be pissed if there's not 100 lakes involved in the worldwide cleanup. Go out there, do your part. Please support this. Like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's a giant. If you're a bass club, that would be incredible. If you're not a bass club and you're a family, if you're an individual that just wants to spend a few hours Saturday, click the link, become part of the worldwide Fear My Heart worldwide lake cleanup. Let's make the world a better place. And good for you, Bruce Buffer.
Yeah.
Nice tux.
He got lucky.
Lucky. So lucky. He's very talented. But, and hey, when I look, there's some dude looking at me.
They want your job.
And being like, man,
Must be nice.
I agree. Trust me, there's parts of me, I got to slap Kyle Patrick open-handed 3 times every morning. And like if you'd have told a 12-year-old version of me that one day you're going to work for Bass and it's going to be acceptable for you to slap another human being.
You have the ultimate job.
And by Sunday, those slaps got hard.
You got UFC and bass fishing in one.
Thanks, dude.
That was awesome, mate. Always good to talk to you. Appreciate you.
Okay, so I apologize. I know we kind of built that up like Carl was finally going to be pissed. But as you saw in the opening, he couldn't last 38 seconds. I mean, he started smiling right from the get-go. But I feel like, although it was very clickbaity, it was freaking worth it. I mean, I'm always asking you guys to do the right thing. And sometimes you got to do the wrong thing to do the right thing. We're kind of like a Robin Hood here this week. That's at least what I'll adjust it in my head as. And I hope all of you guys can support the Fear My Heart Worldwide Lake Cleanup. Let's get 100 lakes. Humpers, don't let me down on this one. I will put the link to sign up lakes in the description, in the comments. Spread it on all your social media if you can. Let's get as many people supporting this as possible. And I promise next week's title will be the truth. Mostly. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. And here's the weird thing. We started off with, hey, we can't get into any stuff because it's Carl. And, it's like trying to get into some stuff with the Easter Bunny. It just doesn't really happen. But then we ended up getting into some stuff. So I'm sure there's a whole percentage of the population that literally started it. And we're like, ooh, he's pissed. Can't wait for this. Those sons of, and shut it off by 5 minutes in. But it's not you guys because you're still here. And I thank you for that. Make sure to support that incredible cause. And I remind you, as I do each and every week, everybody's fighting a battle. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Be kind. Let's spread kindness. Let's make the world a better place. And a good way that you can do that is by supporting the Fear My Heart Worldwide Lake Cleanup. Come on, humpers. Let's jam that inbox or entry box, whatever it is. Let's make the world a better place. And then afterwards, when people are like, what are you doing? Like, why are you watching this show? Like, why are you wasting so much time making this show? Why are you guys wasting so much time watching the show? You can say, well, this show, I mean, it's got a lot of wrong, but you know what it's got right? It helps make the world a better place. And I have faith that you humpers can do that for me. Have a great week. Enjoy being. And as always, Bob Cobb, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?